17 years. They relate to events 17 years ago. I've fully dealt with them, and they were dealt with yesterday by Slater and Gordon as well. I expect to see some muckraking in the Parliament today, though, from the Liberal Party. Thanks very much.
You didn't really answer them?
Yesterday, Tony Abbott said he would facilitate a full explanation from the Prime Minister on this in Parliament. Today, though, nothing from the opposition on this in Parliament. They steered clear. They didn't touch it. Joining me now, our panel this afternoon, Bruce Hawker from Campaigns and Communications. He's working on Labor's campaign in the Northern Territory. Joins us from Darwin. Michael Kroger is in Melbourne, a former Liberal Party president in Victoria. Welcome to you both. Michael Kroger,
David,
what do you think? Does the Prime Minister have more questions to answer here?
Look, David, I don't think she's answered any questions, and this argument, oh, I've given a full statement, she's given no statement at all, apart from the fact I did nothing wrong. Look, there's so many things she needs to explain, and I think this is getting worse, not better for her. The best thing for her to do is... Oh, goodness me, where do you start? Well, Nick Stein-Brown, the former partner, said, and it was reported in The Australian on Saturday, that when Gillard was interviewed by the partners, she wasn't able to say whether or not any of these monies were used on her renovation. She's not sure whether any of these funds, which were allegedly corruptly taken from employers and then taken from this fund, were used on her renovation. That's the number one big issue. Now,
but she was able to produce receipts to show that she had paid for various things, according to that same report.
Well, it's all very vague, isn't it? I mean, in the same report, she says to the partners of Slater and Gordon, I'm not sure whether any of this money was used on my house. The fact she's got a receipt is immaterial. But look, there are so many other questions.
But it's one of these things, isn't it? If there's no evidence she was aware of that money being used wrongly on her house, is it the onus really on her to answer suggestions that it might have been? No,
she's saying she doesn't know. She said to the Stein-Brown and the other partner, she said to them, I don't know whether it was used on my house or not. Now, that to me is the major issue that's confronting her now. But, David, there's 1,000 questions. What about Tees and Woodside, who are two of the companies that have been named as parties to these payments? Did the boards of Tees and Woodside approve these payments? Did the managing directors? Who were the line managers that approved these payments? Under what authority? Did they ask for the money back? Is there a role for the corporate regulator to investigate the conduct of Tees and Woodside? Because if you make illegal payments... They're all legitimate
questions for those companies.
Completely.
But when we talk about the Prime Minister here, is this really something that you think now is going to cause her trouble?
I think it's going to continue to cause her trouble because she's unable to say, won't say why she resigned from Slater and Gordon, which is a simple thing to say, but most importantly, she doesn't know. She didn't know at the time whether any of these monies were used on her renovation, and that's what she needs to clear up in the Parliament with a statement. Otherwise, this thing is just going to continue to fester. Wilson, her boyfriend at the time, has disappeared into Newcastle or somewhere, won't give a statement. Blewett wants to get a police indemnity. Goodness knows where the police are. $400,000 has been, allegedly corruptly obtained from two companies, or more than two companies. It's disappeared into the ether. Where are the police? Where are they in all this?
The police did look at this at the time. Bruce Hawker, what do you think? Well, precisely. It seems to be the outcome if there's no further action from the police. Bruce Hawker, what do you think about all this?
Well, I think there are two issues, aren't there, out there? There's one relating to Wilson and Blewett and what they were doing, and then there's a secondary question which I think is much less compelling, and that is, what evidence is there with respect to the Prime Minister? And the truth seems to be that there's nothing to implicate the Prime Minister in this matter. She was the subject of an investigation by Slater and Gordon in 1995. They found no wrongdoing on her part. She didn't admit to any wrongdoing. In fact, she denied any wrongdoing. And as a result of the investigation, they found that there was nothing for her to answer for. She subsequently left Slater and Gordon.
You do have the suggestion there from a former partner at the time that you do have that suggestion from a former partner at the time saying that the firm took a very serious view of this and accepted her resignation. Does she need to specifically answer why she decided to leave Slater and Gordon?
Well, I think she said she left Slater and Gordon to take up a position with the opposition leader, John Brumby, in the Victorian Parliament. That was the reason she left Slater and Gordon. Look, I think, David, this has been one of these things where a lot of people have got very excited, and conspiracy theory has been developed over a period of time. And frankly, I've got some sympathy for the Prime Minister, because no one is able to put a solid allegation against her backed by evidence, and that's where you really need to go with these things. Now, if there was a question about mingling of monies, well, she's produced receipts which show that the work that was done on her property was paid for by her. That was satisfactory to Slater and Gordon. The police investigation didn't go anywhere near her, as far as I'm concerned, as far as I'm aware, and so why should she be going out there and basically playing into the hands of people who want to, further damage her reputation in this matter? A lot of the people who have been pushing this story have got party political reasons for doing so. They're extremely partisan personalities. It's not like they're just completely objective about the whole process. So I do have some sympathy for her. But I'd say this,
I just want to quickly get your thoughts.
But I will say this, David.
Yep. Sorry, Bruce, we've got some delay on that line from Darwin. Let me just quickly ask you both about school funding.